Hello, yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, and today I'm doing something rather different. Yes, I'm standing here with Bad Boy 94, the Tornado, and I'm going out solo, and it's about to get windy. The first problem is how on earth am I going to get the trolley under the boat enough to wheel it down the beach? I actually worked this out earlier. If I take the line off the trolley, pass it around the shroud, then go to the front, I can lift the front of the boat with one hand. It was easier earlier because now the boat is on a slope. So what am I going to do? Going to have to get the wheels under, so I'm going to go for the lift. What is happening when I try to push that under? All right, yeah, that's got it. Pull on the rope, lift on the boat and push with the foot. Yeah, all right, not bad. Just going to tie the trolley off at the front here, stop the trolley from slipping, but also to make it a bit easier to get those ropes to pull it out. And before we go, I'm also going to take the shoes off, so that's one less thing that I have to do. Okay, all right. She looks ready. Okay, so just controlling the angle here coming down the beach. Try to make sure that we're not going to have any contact with the bottom. Get it over the hump. There we go. Okay, so then to get the wheels out, I've got both trolley ropes. Just going to lift the front a bit. Need this one a bit tighter. Lift the front a bit. Okay, and the trolley comes out. All right. Yeah, so if I was on my own, getting the wheels back onto the beach would involve one of two things. One might be in a place like this where we have moorings, to put the boat on a mooring, then carry the trolley back to the beach. But in the real world, you're less likely to have moorings. Thank you, Oscar. So, of course, a kindly soul to take your wheels is the ideal. But if a kindly soul is not available, you'd have to reverse the back of the boat up gently onto the beach. Right, I haven't got my main sheet attached. All right, and the boat is floating, so I'm looking at the wind. Wind looks pretty stable, and if I can do this here, there we go. So can actually control the way the boat is pointing a bit from the back. But if it's windy, you really don't want to do this, because if the jib catches, you've got no chance of being able to hold the boat. Okay, we've got half a rudder down, but we're back to the famous buoy lane. And if we set off from here, we're going to go straight into the side of the buoy lane. So we're going to walk across a bit. Might put this centreboard down halfway for a little bit of grip onto the boat. Let's get this rudder down, sharpish. All right, traveller central, and here we go for a bit of short tack in. Oh, way out. Rudder's not quite locked. Okay, and we're pointing very high, but seems to be okay. Right, windward centreboard locked down. Jib is flapping, as you could probably see. Yeah, and we could actually point high enough so we don't have to short tack out. That is good news. If we did have to short tack out, then same as we did on the 16, just short tacking out. Everything on the Tornado is reasonably well laid out, but I'd say not perfect for single handing. Like if I was going to make a habit of the single-handed sailing, I would lead the jib sheet and the downhaul around the shroud so that everything's accessible from a bit further back on the boat. Because if you're on the trapeze, then you would have to come forwards quite a bit to be able to get hold of those things. How much wind do we need to get out onto the wire? I'm wagering not very much. Yeah, so first big bonus is if you were learning to helm on the trapeze, the Tornado is so incredibly stable that I just went out on the trapeze. It's not quite windy enough and the boat didn't even flinch. As I'm coming over here, we are getting into a bit more wind and the wind's swinging for the afternoon direction. So I'm going to go for a tack here. Of course, self-tacking jib, that's going to help. Watch the camera. All right, here we go. Into the tack. All right. All right, just going to pull on a bit more on the jib luff. Better. All right. Very niche problem, sticky jib track. Usually you'd have someone else to give that a little bop over, but oh no, not when you're on your own. Okay, we get hooked on again. It looks like there's some wind coming down. Okay, foot under the tow strap. And yeah, it feels like a good amount of boat to be out on alone, that's for sure. Here we go. Foot under the tow strap when alone for sure, just to make sure that we're not going to get ejected as we go out onto the trapeze. Woo. God. Pretty nice though. It's not taking much wind to have this hull lifted. Okay, so first little puff, that was probably only about 10 to 12 knots, but with so much sail area for one person, that is absolutely plenty. So conclusion number one, if you were sailing somewhere with predominantly light wind, sailing something like this wouldn't be an outrageous choice. However, I can see that the Vasiliki cross-shore wind is approaching, and that is going to be a different story. Before we get into that, I think we should just check out another point of sail. So I'm going to take her onto a downwind. So turning downwind, not particularly windy, so for this bear away, so pretty much the same as usual. And then just need to get the kite up. Now the spinnaker halyard cleat on this is quite high up, so this is going to be a bit of a trick shot to get it up. Yeah, been sailing the Nacra Evolution single line system. Two lines on the Tornado, of course. Okay, I've got a little twist in the tack line. So there we are, twist is out. Okay, I'm going to go for a jibe there straight away. Here we go, jibing, just letting the kite fly around the front. A handful of main sheet in there on the way through. Okay, yeah, so like with the FX1 or any single-handed boat with a spinnaker, it's going to be a bit of a juggle to control the spinnaker and the steering and the main sheet all at the same time. All right, not quite enough wind to arc it up at the moment, so I'm going to drop the kite. So I'm going to uncleat the main for the drop. I'm going to actually let the traveller out as well for the drop, just so that the mainsail doesn't pull us up into the wind as much. All right, ready for the drop, here we go. Okay, all right, drop successful. Traveller back in to go upwind. Go bring the jib in. Hooked on, ready to go out onto the trapeze. A little bit of extra security going out by moving back more on the boat, especially with a bigger boat, because it shortens the trapeze so much because you're coming back from where the trapeze line is anchored. So it means it's lifting you up a little bit more. Top tip, just flying the hull. It's not a bad view from up here. All right, a bit more wind coming. So I'm going to reach for the downhaul. Of course, as the wind comes here in Vasiliki Bay, the afternoon wind is in a different direction. So I'm going to go for a tack. So we've got loads of space. Here we go, ready to tack, and here we go. Feet under the tow strap, hooking on, and then over the side. Nice. All right. So far, so good. Get forwards. Okay, so it's probably only up to 14 knots in the gusts, and I'm certainly feeling the power. Big gust there. Yeah, she's certain, as you would expect, with less weight on board, she certainly jumps up more quicker. So just got to be, well, I turned up into the wind for that one, but you could be quicker on the main sheet as well. All right, so I was waiting for a bit more wind to come through, and we've got some puffs coming down, so I think we should go for a bit of kite up, more wind, just making a few gentle preparations there. Tack line out, remember to do it this time. And I think I'm going to pull it up and then jibe straight away. All right, so just resting the buttocks on the tiller extension. All right, and then I'm going to jibe straight away, because I don't want to go too far out to sea on my own. Pull the main sheet in a bit, grab the sheet. There we go, and off we go. A bit more main sheet in, just for some mast security there. Okay, and we're off. And to be honest, it just, at the moment, feels similar to the FX1 in terms of control, but just the power comes on a lot quicker. So I'm actually going to go on to the trapeze for this leg. Weird, got some opposing forces here. Yeah, feels big, stable, very twitchy on the rudders. Thus is the nature of the beast, of the Tornado. For such a big boat, it is extremely refined. And maybe I am a bit unnecessarily far back here, but I just want to be kind of stable and secure. Maybe I should come forwards a little bit. I'm sure that some of you were thinking that. Oh. Lovely new spinnaker sheets on here, supplied from sailingchandlery.com in the UK. Definitely the best place to get the ropes for your Tornado or F18 or most types of boats. But here we are flying the hull, we are alone, not particularly quick I shouldn't think, but it feels nice. Bit more sheet load on this obviously than on the FX1 for single handing with the kite up. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh yeah, we are cooking. I think if it was light winds and you wanted to sail a large distance, this would be a very good choice. Okay, but I think a very good choice for me right now would be to drop the spinnaker because this mountain is approaching fast. So, bit of preparation. I'm going to do what I did before, just ease off a bit of main sheet and traveller so that the main isn't going to pull us up into the wind quite as much. All right, here we go. Make sure I'm not tangled up yet. Just clove hitch around the leg with spinnaker sheet and uncleat. All right, something's going on. Oh no, it's not. Something's not going on. So, oh dear. Is that a wet spinnaker? Uncleat the tack line. Okay, downhaul on, jib on. Turn up to the wind. Travelling in. Spinnaker sheet in the water. Don't like that. All right, nice. Yeah, that was wicked. You could do that all day. Whew. And then there we are. Even though it feels and looks like there's almost no wind at all it needs, yeah, just needs that much. And I'm out on the trapeze. All right, coming back in. Oh, there we go. All right, bit more wind. Okay, just gonna go hunting. Okay, back out on the trapeze one more time. All right, yes, we are definitely into some flying the hull territory now. Bit slow on the main sheet. slows down quickly when you slow down. All right, gonna tack her around and take her home. All right, now that we've got that, so here we go, good tack, coming up. Just gonna let the traveller out a little bit, just see what that does for the power. It makes it feel a little bit less, don't know, it's been feeling quite sort of powerful. So a little bit less power might make it feel less powerful. Oh yeah, significantly less. All right, and here we are. Yeah, so you may see playing decent amount of main sheet, but only ever really an armful. I'm dialing it down in the gusts because that seems to be my instinct when reaching to try and make the boat go a bit faster, is to go a bit deeper. Putting a bit more bow in because somebody said in the comments she likes that. All of the comments in the comments are very helpful, by the way. So if you have any helpful advice, I'm always willing to hear it and to take it on board if I like the sound of it. Oh yeah. This is good. Yeah, this could be a really fun day out. If you had consistent wind like this, probably 14, 15 knots of wind, this is nice because you've got so much power on a big boat like this. Even on an F18, so much power that you can be having more fun than anyone else on the water in less wind. All right, gonna come in off the trapeze, get ready for docking. Here we go. Whew. Okay, so usually I'd say, there we go, thanks for watching. But for today, we're just gonna have to see how we deal with the actual bringing it ashore procedure. Now, the wind direction is actually going to make it very easy to do that because the wind is from the side. So all we have to do when we get to the beach is turn up into the wind. But I think a good idea is to make some preparations now when we've got plenty of time. So we'll just have a look around, make sure we are not going to get caught out by a sudden gust of wind. In fact, I'll let the traveller out a bit. Okay, going to let the downhaul off both sides. Actually pulled some downhaul out as well. Going to let the jib off as well. Get that as loose as it will go. Okay, good start. And then if I'm going to do this properly, what I'm going to do is I'm actually tacking, doing a really, this is the sort of tack you can get away with on a boat like this. You can tack from a broad reach and then into hove too. So I'm going to put this dagger board up, get that secured in the up position. So then that's done. I'm going to do the same with this rudder as well. Of course, on the Tornado, different rudder system to everything else. Okay, now I just need to get the boat moving. So I'm going to weather vane it by pushing the mainsail out to get us going backwards. There she goes. And now I'm going to weather vane it through a tack if we need to. Might just go anyway. So there we are, head to wind, but weather vaning to get it to come round. There we go. If you don't know about the weather vane, you should find out about the weather vaning. It's the most useful thing in catamaran sailing. All right, and before we enter the buoy lane, I'm just going to unlock the windward rudder, put the windward dagger board up. There we go. Ease up, and just going to park up there for a second. There we go. All right, so windward rudder unlocked, but I'm going to keep her down like that. Okay, and of course, I'm going to turn the boat up into the wind to stop it. So I'm just going downwind a little bit to have as much space as possible to turn up. And there we go. And with the leeward dagger board and rudder already up, it means we can get in fairly close to the beach. Got the rudders hard over. I'll just lift that one up. And getting to the front. Okay, maybe that was a little bit more dynamic than it needed to be. I could have started that a little bit sooner. Okay, so now is potentially the tricky bit. What do you do with the boat while you go to get the trolley? Well, I'm not feeling too inclined to put the boat onto the beach because the beach is quite stony. So fortunately, I've launched from a place where there's plenty of people around, and I could just call someone to see if they wouldn't mind getting my trolley. Would you mind getting my trolley? It's that one. So there we go. Yes, cheating a bit, I know, but you know, if there's people about, you're going to use the people. That's what you're going to do. So that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'd put the boat on a mooring, or if the worst came to the worst, I would put the front of the boat onto the small stones while I ran and got the trolley. But then is the next kind of difficulty is actually pulling the boat out of the water, and that is something that you're going to have to work out if you are going to be sailing a big boat on your own. But thanks for watching. I hope that was useful, or if not useful, at least mildly entertaining, and I'll see you soon with some more on Joyrider TV. Oh yes.